Hello and welcome to the Longines Global Champions Tour here in the cosmopolitan city of Shanghai. Behind us, the lights of the city as the night comes alive here once again in this vibrant part of the East. And joining me tonight is Deusser. Daniel, what a setting.
Absolutely, Stephen. I can only agree. Looks amazing. Luckily, we are inside because the weather didn't play with us today.
Absolutely.
But we will make the best of it.
And we've got a drink, so we're okay.
Absolutely.
Life can go on from that point of view. Daniel, recent Longines world #1. How's the battle going at the top there, and what was it like to have that position?
For me, it was anyway a very, very nice feeling to be one-time #1 in the Longines ranking. In the moment I lose the battle a little bit against Scott again, but Scott is in top form for the last 15 months, I think now. And for myself, I was very happy with that. And if it's possible, of course, I'm going to try to get it one more time.
Absolutely, I'm sure it'll come without any trouble. Longines world #2 at the moment. It's still very close between you, and each month, of course, changing. Everything can change around. But last year, 2014, was probably one of your best years, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the ranking showed already last month. It was from last month, 1 year ago, that I had actually really, really good horses, really good results. I won the World Cup final last year. I was part of the team for the World Equestrian Games. I won a couple of Grand Prix, and I had good horses and good results.
And in terms of moving on from there, I mean, it's taken a long while to get to this stage. I mean, your career itself, where did it actually start?
By now it started already a couple of years ago. Actually, it started when I moved to Franke Slotag stable in 2002. Had a good time there, learned a lot about the horses, about the riding, about educating a horse. Stayed for 4.5 years. Changed then to the stable of Jan Tops. Stayed there for 6 years, got a lot of experience, good horses. He was actually the one who brought me in the international sport, in the international shows. And after these 6 years, I changed to Stefek Stables, where I'm riding now for 3 years. And that was actually the point that I say, okay, now I have an owner behind me who has a lot of good horses, who wants to have a good rider in the sport, and who keeps the horses for the sport.
Yeah. And in terms of what advice would you give to a young rider starting out now? Because it seems to get to your stage now, and to many top riders, I mean, I was talking to Marco Kutscher earlier, it's spending time with the top riders now to gain that experience.
Yeah, definitely you need to find a stable with already international riders, I would say. The fact to ride with somebody like Franke for 4.5 years, to see him ride every day, it's not only that he educates you, the fact that you see him helps you a lot and brings you a bit further. And then at Jan's place it was a little bit the same. I rode 6 years together with Edwina, and she had good horses, she was on good shows, and we saw a lot of international riders on our way there. And yeah, I think you can learn on every show a little bit from every rider.
I was going to ask, I mean, from those two big stables, what are the best pieces of advice that have come out of both of those for you?
That's difficult to say. Working with the horses, with animals, every animal is a little bit different. I think you never stop learning. And in every stable, you can always get a piece which sometimes helps for one horse, sometimes helps only in 4 or 5 years for another horse you will get. So I think it's just very important to always watch and always try to think or put yourself in the position of other riders, what they think, what they do, and maybe try to do the same thing on your horses.
And in terms of, from your career, I mean, we've just seen Steve Gerdak go on and win the Longines World Cup final this year. You yourself, you were second before now as well, going close in it. How much determination does that give you going into a final like that this time I'm going to get it?
Yeah, okay, I think you cannot really plan that. If you have a good horse, if you're in a good form, okay, you have a chance to win a World Cup final like that. But at the end, you have to be also very lucky that everything works out like you planned it. And this year Steve was in unbelievable form with his horse already a couple of weeks before. He won already a couple of good classes the weeks before. And no, he deserved to win. He was the best this year.
And in terms of riders, I mean, you talked about Franka Slutak. Which riders have influenced you, and which ones that you go and look at today? Who do you get advice from?
Who I get advice from? I try to look actually a lot of riders. It's difficult. We cannot talk about the world number one or the top 10 in the world. If you have a good horse, I think every rider that is on the show, every rider that goes to the Global Champions Tour is able to win the Grand Prix and is a good rider. And at the end, like I said before, you can learn from everyone a little bit.
And how has your perspective changed now, recently becoming a father too?
Yeah, I have to concentrate a little bit more towards the sport, to be honest. No, my life changed a little bit. I got a beautiful daughter called Stella now 3 months ago. And yeah, it changed my life. It's a fantastic situation right now. It's difficult to explain to people who do not have children. It's something that brings a lot of happiness in your life, and yeah, it's a fantastic feeling. And in your daily life, you're actually more motivated to stay at home and spend the time with your daughter than going and work with the horses.
Absolutely, but the prize money certainly helps as well towards that too. Your own early upbringing, I mean, you were into a lot of other sports, I gather, things like BMX, all sorts of things.
Yeah, the situation was like that when I went to school. The riding was always part of my life, but friends in school, they never had the same intention to start riding. So if I wanted to spend some time with my friends, I always had to do something that they were interested in. And to be honest, at the beginning, I was also interested in a lot of sports. I played tennis, athletics, I did cycling for a while. And actually the fact or the situation to be a rider, to start as a rider, only started when I was finally 20 years.
Okay, so it's quite late in your career, really.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the riding was always, I went to shows before, yeah. And I liked it. I liked the horse. It was always part of my life. But really to make the decision to start or to try and change your hobby to your job, that came only after school when I was 20.
And if you weren't riding, what was the other sport that you'd have gone and done? Or could you have gone and been a professional in another sport?
That's a very good question. I have no idea, actually.
Which was your favorite?
I don't know. It's a very, very difficult question because I liked a lot of sports. I tried competitions in tennis. I tried competitions in swimming also. And I really liked it. But if there would have been a sport that I'm really good enough in, I don't know.
Anyway, show jumping again. Bringing us back to horses. I mean, Air Jordan Z was a superb horse for you. Several very good horses. But the most recent, of course, with Cornet de Moor for the Stefex stables, that has been an absolute superstar and continues to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Cornet so far is the horse of my life. I got him now 2.5 years ago. And we had some time at the beginning. We could grow together. I could start with him in a few small classes, and I could slowly build him up to what he is now. And yeah, to his character, he's a fantastic horse. He knows what to do. He has a good technique. And at the end, he's really a sports horse. He knows what to do, and that's altogether is why he's so good. Why he had me to so many Grand Prix.
And then in terms of jump-offs, I mean, that horse is lightning fast. I mean, I've seen you this America and in this side of the continent in Europe, back at home. I mean, it's a horse that's very special.
Yeah, absolutely. He is the most important thing that he's very clever in the ring. He knows what he has to do, and he's in that way not complicated at all. You can ride him inside, you can ride him outside, on a big arena, on grass, on sand, and he always tries to do it best. And in that way, you can also turn very short in the jump off without going very fast, and that's why he has a chance to win nearly every class.
Well, lots of chances to win on the Longines Global Champions Tour, but you saw the tour developing, being based at Jan Tops's in the early days. I mean, did you ever think it would go on like this? And what was it like seeing the early stages come through?
It was amazing to see how everything developed in the last couple of years. Of course, I did a few Global Champions Tours at the beginning. In the first years, we had, I think at the beginning, not even half of the amount of events per year we have now. And that Jan has absolutely that power to develop whatever he wants, whatever he's thinking, that I knew from the beginning. But that he really build up a show or a series like that is unbelievable, to be honest. It is now in so many countries all over the world the whole year long. A lot of traveling. It's amazing, yeah.
Well, it brings us to places like Shanghai from that point of view, which is a whole new step for the sport. You've been World Cup champion. You've been Longines world #1. What's the one other achievement you'd like to have?
Okay, for us Germans, we have a European Championship this year in Germany, in Aachen. Anyway, Aachen is also a show. It's a special show for the Germans, and that we have a championships at home. Of course, I would like to be part of the team there in Aachen, and that's a goal for this year. Yeah.
Absolutely, and of course, next leg coming up in Germany as well, Hamburg. It'd be great to have a home win for Germany for the Longines Global Champions Tour too.
I could agree with that, yeah.
Well, good luck with that one. Good luck for the rest of Shanghai. As we can see, the city's very much awake behind us. We're going to maybe relax with a drink or two through the evening as well.
Good idea.
Daniel, thank you very much for joining us. You're heading off to dinner too. So we're all going to have a lovely evening here in Shanghai. Thank you very much to Daniel for joining us. As I say, enjoy all the sport here this week from the Longines Global Champions Tour here in China.